Jason Abraham, your hero, your role model, the Guns and Roses of fitness. And some of you who are watching these videos I put up, you may have noticed that there is a twist of negativity, a twist of celebrating entitlement or darkness, of the victim mentality, some of these negative aspects that are part of the human experience that people quite truthfully walk around in much of the day. And as I've found in this experiment on my channel, that like when you see someone who embodies this and celebrates it and throws it back out at you, most people don't want to fucking watch. And at least not in this context. Usually there has to be an opponent for darkness. People want to see the contrast of something that embodies the qualities of heroism and the qualities of selflessness, martyrdom, self-sacrifice, which are valued more, as most people are taught to value, usually by corporate religion. And that's okay, because this is all just an experiment. I went through the exploration of the shadow self, and for those who are interested in studying the shadow, it's a Jungian concept. Carl Jung did extensive research, and this is a good part of his psychological theory, which I won't go into. There are other channels, and you can just study and read books of Carl Jung and understand more in depth what the shadow is. But in short, a quick explanation, it's some of these unconscious drives and tendencies that we all have. The unconscious that is suppressed because at some point in your life you found that it was shamed or not seen as favorable by society, by the mainstream consciousness that you're living in. So, as again, I did a deep dive into the shadow. I, Jason Abraham, thought that I would dive into my own shadows and I would celebrate it. I would bring it forth to light. And as I did that, I noticed that the shadows of other people who I would interact with in my daily work of going around to enlighten and elevate the consciousness of the common man, their shadows and their darkness started to stick to me in a more powerful, profound way. And these negative energies were like this swirling vortex. It became like a black hole as each day the power of the darkness, the power of this negativity, the power of these base level drives of fear, of wanting superiority, wanting to be gratified in this very base reptilian way, that was sticking to me and just welling up in my consciousness in a much more powerful, profound way. And as I just repeated that in this video, that shows you its power. And it's like this black hole of infinity. And it was bringing me down. And I learned that I needed to step away from it. And as I went out to nature and I got into a deep meditation and was just surrendering my ego to the infinite consciousness beyond, some revelations came to me. I saw that these drives, some say that they're associated with this reptilian mind, which is the base level of consciousness in humanity, this desire to fight, fuck, gratify oneself, that these instincts in the shadow are heavily driven from this reptilian mind. And some believe that the Illuminati that there are these forces that are manipulating the destiny of humanity, and that they are actually reptilian beings, literally. And I've explored these possibilities, and that's quite possible, because either way, the forces of the Matrix, they feed off of these reptilian instincts, the forces of consumerism, the forces that keep you constantly chasing something that you don't have, constantly waking up in this state of dissatisfaction. That keeps your vibration at this lower level. And the solution, their solution, is to always have to buy something, always have to seek approval from others, always have to find validation from another force that's outside of yourself. And the truth is, the Godhead, the real creator of this universe, is inside of you. And the more you get wrapped up in this chase of this reptilian consciousness, these reptilian drives, the more likely you are to forget that, because you will engage in that endless cycle of having to comfort yourself, to comfort the ego. And again, I sought to dive into my own shadow, to purge the shadow in me, to make friends with the shadow in me, so that I could be a light of consciousness for all of you. And this video is proof that I'm bringing that light forth, because the beauty that I've seen in my meditations and my connection with the great whole and becoming one with the great whole, it's magnificent. Magnificent. Yes, I just said that. It is magnificent. And the beauty is so wondrous that I believe if more beings on this earth connected with that, we'd see just a different planet. We would see just a different way that humans would show up on this planet, and a lot of the destruction, the needless destruction that is going on would not exist. Now, it's true that there are negative polarities that are part of the fabric of this universe, but the consciousness that we're seeing would be elevated to a new place. And I know this has sort of been a rant, and it's very hard for the average mind to stick with me when I go on these rants, when I go on these deep explorations into the unknown. But that's just it. When you are truly awake and you're no longer an addict of stimulation and distraction, then you can go on these journeys with someone like Jason Abraham, and you can be fully immersed and engaged in that journey, and just full of the wonder and experiencing the wonder of things like this new people scarf that just fell off my neck, and wonderful experiences of the sun that is shining on me right now, and just this immersion in the beauty and the depth and richness of beauty that at the heart of our world.